All right, I'm going to talk about a few tools before I start throwing here. The tools I have are a little different than what you would get in one of those basic kits at Blick. But I think there should be a metal rib in there. These are actually from Mud Tools, and they're a little better quality. They're just a little thicker. They do come in different thicknesses. Like this one is pretty thick and barely has any bend, but that can be really nice when you're working on something tall and need to take out some moisture. If you want a little more forgiveness, something a little bendier might work. There's all different shapes and sizes of these on the internet. So once you get going and making pieces, you might find that you really want something long and straight to go right next to that cup as you're throwing up. You might be more inclined to look for something round to follow that shape of a tea bowl, so that you can repeat that shape over and over again. And again, you could use old credit cards. You could cut out little notches. Like this wooden rib has a nice point, a nice rounded side, a straight side, and then a little notch. And that little notch could be used, could run along the lip of your cup as you're making it, to make that nice and smooth and even, or you could use it to make ridges on the side. So you could cut any shape out of an old gift card or credit card and use that as well. I'm a big fan of the other mud tools that are kind of color coded. They have a green color as well, but everything on their shop that's made out of this silicone material comes in these 4 different ranges, and the red is the flimsiest. This is my favorite rib. You can see it's kind of losing its color on the edge. I've used it so much, but it's got a nice round edge that's great for going down inside of a cup or a bowl. And then it also has those straight edges, but it's also flexible enough that I could give it a round edge with the cup coming through this way. Let's see. I have a Michelle Summers little cup. It's got clay on it, but it can curve to make that shape as well. So those are ribs. Sponges. Your kit should come with a nice little round sponge if you go for the kit. If you are making a trip to Menards for all those other buckets and Rubbermaids that I said, they sell a package of these nice big sponges for like 3 for $4 or something like that. This will make your cleanup go a lot faster, but you can also take one of them and cut them into smaller chunks, even smaller than this. And that gives you a lot of nice variety. And those are great sponges. I do use those a lot. I also use these mud sponges that they're very bizarre feeling. They actually feel a lot like makeup sponges. If you've ever felt like a foundation sponge, it's a lot like that. So it's nice to have a little variety of sponges. They also make natural sponges. Those are sponges. Then your toolkit should come with some sort of needle tool and some sort of wooden stick, probably with a point on the end. I always use these 2 at the wheel. You'll need one of these for checking the thickness of your bottom as you get started and before you get used to it. And then you also need it if you have a wonky lip, this is the tool to cut it off smoothly with. We'll get to that eventually. This tool you use for cleaning up the bottom and taking away any excess clay while you're throwing. And then you'll need a wire cutoff tool. If you're buying one online from one of those websites, you might think about getting one that is a shorter. This fits almost all the way across the bat here. It's nice to have a variety if you have the money to spare. This is a longer one. So if I make a big platter or a giant bowl, I'm going to be able to get across the whole wire, the whole bottom of that pot, where I have a limited ability to do that here. But if I'm just doing lots of cups, this is a lot easier actually to make that tight there to pull underneath. It is, if you have a longer one, you can still do that, but you're going to have to wrap it around your hands and tighten it like that. And sometimes that doesn't feel too good on your fingers. It's totally, you can totally do it. But whenever you're cutting off, however big your piece is, you're going to want to make that wire as tight as possible and as close to the bat as possible. So that's why there are different sizes. And they come with different handles too. The one in the kit is just a wood pole. Dirty Girls makes some really nice handled ones. They feel different than this, but all of mine right now happen to be from Mud Tools. Oh, this is actually from a company called Exum or something like that. I can't quite see it on there. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. We've got our nice ball of clay. This is what 3/4 pound of clay looks like. If you have a scale, you can weigh out your clay for your project. You could use a little baking scale, a scale in the bathroom if it goes that low, or just eyeball it. Try to make like tennis ball sizes for this first project. And what I would do before you sit down is go ahead and wedge about 10 of these out and put a little plastic over so they don't get too hard or dry while you're working on the wheel, and then you can just reach under that plastic and grab more.